This is Find Your Voice, a podcast created for music educators who believe that teaching music is about more than notes on a page. Each episode, we'll talk with educators, leaders, and musicians who are shaping the future of music learning, one voice at a time. Whether you're conducting a choir, leading a band, or teaching little ones their very first notes, this is your space to connect, learn, and be inspired. Find Your Voice is sponsored in part by Dr. Mom Music and Central College. Hello, and welcome to Find Your Voice with Dr. Mom. We are in studio today with Samantha Robilliard from Pella High School. Samantha grew up in Northwest Iowa and got her Bachelor's of Music degree from the University of South Dakota. She started teaching in Webster City and has also taught at Rock Valley and Johnston High School. But during the pandemic, moved her family to Pella, and we are so lucky to have her at Pella High School. Samantha, tell us a little bit about your family, if you would, please.
Absolutely. I am married to Jeff. He is a high school band director at Pella as well. Mm-hmm. And then I have a sophomore at Iowa State, Hallie, and then an 8th grader, Nate, and a 6th grader, Maddie.
Oh, and Maddie is one of my best friends. I just love her spunk.
She's something.
We enjoy watching show choir together.
Oh, yes.
All right. So, Samantha, I know that music runs in your blood just a little bit. Your father, the late Frank Hoskins, for many of you out there, you music ed folks, you might know that name. Mr. Hoskins was president of IBA and highly regarded band director in our state. And I believe your brother is also an instrumental director in Des Moines Public Schools. Is that right?
Correct. Yep.
All right. So how does it feel being the only quote unquote throat amongst all of those band folks?
Like the real music director?
Oh!
No, it's good. I love it. I was in band when I was in high school. I think my appreciation for instrumental music is just as high as vocal music. I think they go hand in hand. I love it when students do both because I feel like, especially like working with my husband, we can teach off of what each other does. So like the expectations in classes is the same. We know how each other teach. Expectations for students seems a little bit more seamless. I think having my dad as band director was awesome. I learned a lot from him as a teacher. I feel like a lot of the ways I teach a lot like him. And some of the ways I teach is also not like him on purpose. But that's not how it always goes with teaching. And then my brother, he started actually as an orchestra director in Des Moines Public for a year and a half, and then now is in his second year teaching instrumental music. And I think he's at Weeks School in Des Moines Public, and he is doing an awesome job. And it's fun as a family to get together and be able to talk about our experiences and students and things that we come up against and how we can help each other. So it makes it fun to be able to talk to somebody that gets it.
Oh, yes. That does make a huge difference. Yeah. I can only imagine your conversations like at the Christmas dinner table or something.
My dad always had a lot of advice for us. So it was actually fun to be able to talk to him about certain things, and he had a really good administrative mind, and so that helped. Like when I would come up again, especially when I was a younger teacher, of how to handle sticky situations, he was really good at being able to help that.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So tell us, what does your daily life look like now at Pella High School? What all are you doing?
Okay, like today is crazy. Every day is crazy. But I get to school and it's just pretty much instant lessons. We're working on All-State, and so the lessons aren't always individual lessons. There's lots of group lessons, lots of working togetherness. I work through lunch. We have Opus recordings that we're all due today. So that was really busy. And then I teach 2 choirs. I teach select choir and advanced choir, and I just got done with advanced choir like a half hour ago. So.
And bless your heart for coming and talking with me on the day of Opus.
Oh my gosh, yes. Well, I still have a few more things to upload, but it's okay.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Wow. Oh, it just never ends, right?
No, it doesn't. No, it's good. True thing about my job is I'm never, honestly, never bored. Never bored. I said to somebody yesterday, as hard as the job is, I never drive to school and think, ugh. I always drive. I mean, I am always happy to be driving to school. So it's good.
That is great. Yeah. So when you were in high school, let's just say, did you imagine your career to look like it has looked?
Yeah. So I say this and it feels nerdy, but I can't help who I am. So I started piano lessons at first grade. And then I, on purpose, on Sundays, would get ready for church early so this is before high school. This is like, I'm saying 4th grade.
Okay. Would
get ready for church early, and then I would go down to our piano room and I would pretend to be a choir director and teach choir. So I think this has always just been the thing I've been passionate about. And then I had a really good choir director. I had actually great choir directors all along that influenced me in very different ways. But then my high school choir director, he was tough. And I guess I loved that just because it was always a be better, and I loved that challenge. And so I think that, really led me to continue the path of being a choir director.
I love those vicarious experiences when you were little. I can just imagine little Samantha.
All dressed up, telling them all what to do. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. So something else that I know you are passionate about in your life is missions. And in 2018, I believe you headed to Africa with Living Faith Lutheran Church in Johnston and went to Kenya in the northwestern area of Kenya. Would you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I've always wanted to do something like this, but the opportunity never really presented itself. And I would say I never went looking for it because, quite frankly, it just scared me. There's the unknowns. And I did not sign up to go. But I remember it was like yesterday, somebody had to back out of the trip for a reason. And on Easter Day, Joanne met me in the parking lot. We were both going into church that morning and said, I think you should go. We have an opening and I just feel like it's you. I feel like it's you that needs to go. And so then I didn't say yes right away. And so I prayed about it and I went to school, and a dear friend that we share, Kim Kramer, was in my office and I was telling her about it. And my parents did not want me to go for reasons I do understand. But I said, I was just explaining everything to Kim. I had young kids then as well. And I just said, what do you think? And she goes, I don't know. I just don't think maybe it's the right time. And I looked at her and I said, I'm going. It was like her telling me, like, no, it just felt so wrong that it was like, I don't know. It was just, and she is so wise. I just think there's something about her just being like, maybe being cautious is right. And I don't know. I don't know. And she laughed a lot because it was like, no, you're actually wrong. And so that moment I decided I'm going. I felt called to go so strongly to say, I think you're wrong. I felt that call so strong. So yes, so I went to Kenya. Our trips last about 2 weeks. Travel time is almost 4 days. It is life-changing. I actually encourage everybody to stretch yourselves and learn more about what is just right here and what we know. As in, my daughter actually is going to Tanzania at the beginning of January. It's a kind of a small study abroad with Iowa State. And I love that because I want her to see that the world is full of people that are not like us. And what you don't know, you don't understand. And I learned a lot when I was over there. The travel was tough. And you get to Kenya, the travel to get to Kenya is tough. But then we have to travel north to the refugee camp. So we did our mission work at the refugee camp. And those refugees, not many people visit because it's a desert. And because the travel is hard to get there. And then also just, it's just extreme heat. And just many things that make it difficult. But we have a really awesome group that works really hard to allow people to get into those camps. And many of those people that we met have never even heard about Jesus. And getting to talk to them, it's door to door, just walking through the refugee camp all morning long, just meeting people, talking to them. It's incredible. A lot of them have never seen people from America, white people. I'd have blonde hair. So they're so intrigued, which was great because then because they were intrigued, they would want to come and talk to us, and then we would get to talk to them about Jesus and invite them to a study in the afternoon where they would then walk miles to come to have a Bible study. Girls would have it together where they would ask us many questions, and then the men could have Bible study as well. It was what's really neat about it as well is that the church goes back. And so we plant churches there as well. And so we help people get into the ministry and be able to start churches in the camps. They've done that, a couple of them, which is neat. So then we get to go back and go to those churches and see the same people over. So they know that it's just not a one and done thing. We just don't, we're not coming there and leaving. They know that we will be back. Something that's interesting that people don't always understand is we do not bring food. We have brought children's books and we've brought some Bibles and that, but what our main goal is to bring the hope of the resurrection to them. And so they know that there's more than just what they're living, and being able to find peace and hope in Jesus, and also begin to have a community, which is really tough on a refugee camp. We're able to bring all of that to them, and that when we leave stays. And that is what I think is so neat. And then when we go back, we get to see how it's grown as well, and they then continue to do door-to-door evangelism as well.
You can find recordings of Pella High School Choral Department on their Facebook page and on their YouTube channel at Pella Dutch Live. After your 2018 experience, have you been back to Kenya at all?
I have, yeah. So I moved to Pella in 2020. I thought maybe my Kenya days were over because we changed churches and it moved. And so I was very sad about it because I really feel like my husband would say my heart is in Kenya. I love Kenya so much. I love the people in Kenya. Oh, it's actually such an amazing place. And so I was told about an upcoming trip, which was a very different trip than the camps. But I applied and I was accepted to go, which was really great. And so this trip it's to Marunga, which is a town and a city town in Kenya as well. And what the church has done there is help set up, it's called the Tumanini Center, where it's a center for children to be able to stay and eat and go to school. And it started off as a little soup kitchen just to feed, and it has grown into a place where many children stay and have a place to be. And so that is really neat. And so we got to visit there and we did some work there. And then also just in Marunga, same type of thing, going door to door. And that those conditions are not the same conditions as the camp, just in many different ways, but the work is still really important. And so it's fairly similar. And then we were going to go back. That was in 2023, and then I went back in 2024. Actually missed school, which is really neat that the school allowed me. I had to take some days and whatnot, but it was really neat that they allowed me to go, and went back. We were supposed to go back to the camps, but it actually was not as safe when we went there, and so we went to still up by the camps, which is in Lodwar, and did a lot of the same kind of work.
So you've been 3 times?
3 times.
Okay, and do you have plans to go again?
God willing, we'll see. I would absolutely go back in a heartbeat, but I know there's a plan, and how the teams are set up, it really makes an impact, and it makes a difference on who's all on the team, and I don't know, we'll see.
This podcast was brought to you by Dr. Mom Music on Teachers Pay Teachers. Find Your Voice and Sing to Me, Baby by Dr. Mom Music. Find more resources on Teachers Pay Teachers. You were born to create. So how have those experiences impacted your teaching?
The experiences in Kenya have just impacted me as a whole quite a bit. Students are interested in teacher, and especially being gone, there's a lot of questions that were asked, and just I got to share a lot with them, which I think you walk a line on what's appropriate to share and what's not. But also, when a student asks questions, I'm always going to answer. And it's interesting. I have had a student. Wouldn't say it's because entirely of me, but my mission work has really influenced her to really want to continue and do some mission work. And I think that's really neat. And I also just think that students seeing that I'm somebody else than just a teacher, I think is really good. Yeah. And I think when I was in Kenya, I thought about my teaching all the time. But you think about students and their experiences and how we're all the same. We're all the same people. If you're in Kenya, or if you're in England, or you're here, I mean, we're all God's children. I think that even being there, that's just something that really, I don't know, sticks with me, just even as teaching and how I see students, and knowing that maybe not all of our backgrounds are as they seem as well.
I think that illustrating the humanness or the human side of a teacher, right? For some reason, we get stuck in this silo. And I know that from my own experience as a mother of children that have had Roby, as you are affectionately known at our house, my own kids were very excited and to know that you were able to go to Africa and use your time as a missionary. And they were so thankful for you to be able to do that because they could see how much it meant to you.
Yeah. I'm a choir director, but I'm also a lot more. And I think that's important that kids see that as well.
And so was there a piece of music too that was influenced by your work?
Select Choir did a song, and actually it was in Swahili. And it was funny because when I went to Kenya, I sang it for them. And they knew it, the song. I had my the background, what was on there was actually a little incorrect, and so I can't even remember all the ins and outs of it, but they knew the song, and it was really fun how they told me about the song, and they laughed at my ability to try the language, which I thought was they were really cute about it, and so it was actually, that was really fun. But it was fun to also talk to them about that song. But now I'm thinking of a different song. We also, the Baba Yetu, which many choir directors know that song as well, which is Swahili for the Lord's Prayer as well, and singing that to them, I actually pulled up my choir singing it and showed it to them, and they thought that was just one of the most amazing things, is to see Americans singing the Lord's Prayer in Swahili. And so that was a really fun moment, for me over there as well.
I had some of your students here at Central, and they were sharing some of that last year with me and how much that meant to them. Yeah. That was really neat. Know that meant a lot.
That's neat. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. You had mentioned in an article I read online that you had gotten comfortable being comfortable before you went into the mission field. What's that all about?
Right? Isn't that what I feel like? That's just like sometimes the way we all live. It's just we really like our structure. We like to know what's coming, us and all of our calendars and our meal planning and everything. And I think that I needed to grow. I still feel like that. I need to grow as a person and as a teacher and as a mother. I think just going through our daily lives and not thinking about other people, about being uncomfortable. Like one of my hardest things, this is going to sound silly to many people, but not all people, because people can maybe understand this. My biggest obstacle when I went to Kenya was the food. So my youngest daughter truly has like a fear of food, and that can seem really silly, but it's really real. And she definitely got it from me. I'm not as extreme as her, but I will not eat things that I don't know what they are. And in Kenya, it is rude to not eat the food that they serve, because when we are there, they are serving their very best to us. And it's it's goat meat and a red sauce that I don't know what it is, or it's a yellow sauce that I don't know what it is. And apparently it's very good, but I just can't do it. And so that was tricky and that was tough to navigate it. And I was able to, with help of my team, we were able to navigate it. It sounds really silly and it sounds rude, but it's 115 degrees and you're being served food. I don't know. But for me, it's really a growing moment. It's an appreciative moment. You talk about even just being a teacher and what has that taught me? It's also taught me as a mom to be a little bit more patient, understanding that I actually have some of that as well. But being uncomfortable, so much of the trip was uncomfortable. From the no sleep to the cold showers to the different food to the heat to the smells to everything. And I love it. I know it sounds crazy. I love it. I loved pushing through it. I loved pushing myself. So it's good for me. It was, and because I love Kenya. And so it doesn't matter. It didn't matter. All of the hardships. And that, I don't know, that I loved it. And our pastor was really great at prepping us and pushing us and teaching us about what we were going through.
For those of you not in studio, you can't see the true joy right now that's radiating from Samantha, but I can, and it's just beautiful. You can just, it's truly radiating from you.
Yeah, I could talk about it all day. I could talk about my experiences and the people and the team, and it's lovely.
Wow.
I'm very blessed to have had these experiences.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thanks for asking.
Yeah. What would you say as an educator has been your biggest achievement, your greatest achievement?
I don't know if I necessarily have, I don't know if I can pinpoint it. I don't know if I have one that I'm like, oh, I did it. This is amazing. For me, that's not maybe what I'm after. I would say I had a clinician in yesterday working with students that are auditioning to audition. And honestly, I think he met with 36 students, maybe more. I don't even know. But I even look at that as, it's not like my achievement per se, but I think that I love that work and I love that I get to see students start in August, many of them, not all of them, but many of them really doubting themselves. A lot of them don't want to do it because they're nervous about failing. And you talk about getting too comfortable with comfortable. I push them out of that comfort level so much, and maybe too much, a little bit of a tyrant. But it's because I believe in them and I know they can. And watching them, they were given a set of cuts that they had to prepare and then walk in and sing for a complete stranger. And some of them were very terrified, and did honestly a very fantastic, respectful job. But some of them who would have been very terrified a month ago were like excited and eager to learn and grow. And that's not like a single accomplishment, but I just love that. That's what I think is fun. That's why I teach, is to watch, because hopefully that can translate into other areas of their life. Music is more than just 8th period choir. I hope that they can find, if I can do that, then I definitely can go do this. So I know maybe I didn't answer your question, but that's
great. It's not about the trophies.
Oh, no, it's sure. If that was the reason I was teaching,
Yeah, that's what I love. That's what I love about you. Yeah. Thank you. And I want to first say thank you for coming today and spending time with me. It's just been fun to hang out with my friend. But more importantly, I think it's important for you to hear from one of your past students who you have helped them to find their voice. Before we end today's episode, I want to close with, we must pay it forward, which is how I always close every episode. And this is inspired by my favorite podcast, Good Hang with Amy Poehler. And Amy always begins her podcast with a Zoom call or a phone call with a friend of the guest that she's going to talk with on her podcast that day. And she talks to those friends and asks them to formulate a question for the guest that she's going to host that day. And I was thinking, okay, how can I maybe come up with some way to tag along with her awesome idea, because I really look up to her as a podcaster and she's just amazing. Anyway, and so I was thinking I want to do something with gratitude for music educators, and that's where this idea was born. And so instead of asking a question about our guest, someone else gets the final word. It's a moment to simply say thank you and recognize the teachers and mentors or advocates who keep music alive in our hearts and our communities. So today I asked one of my students, and I'm thrilled that he is my student now. This is Josh Nusma. He's a first-year student here at Central College studying music education, and he is a 2025 graduate of Pella High School, one of Roby's former students. And I sent him a text and said, hey, would you come into the podcast studio and say a few words about your former teacher? And without hesitation, he said, absolutely, I would love to. And he had numerous things to say, but I was really struck by some of his words of wisdom about her leadership and the things that he has learned that he is going to take into the classroom. I thought that was really special because we learned so much from the experiences that we have as students. And I know that Josh will be a better music educator and that he will bring so many of his lived experiences to the music education classroom. And that because of his role models, he will in turn take those experiences and pay it forward when he becomes a music educator. And it's that life cycle in music education that is why I wanted to go into teaching college. And I just love that part of music education.
For me, not even just like from a vocal aspect of like choral singing and things, just like being a genuinely kind person to people, just showing how much fun you're able to have within a group of people. Choir isn't just about making beautiful sounds, even though that's an amazing part of it. You're able to make so many good and great friendships that even now that I'm in college, I still go back and see my friends. It's always just a good seeing how much joy comes from having 4 years with students, just being able to have that sort of deep bond with them. Just her energy that she brings to rehearsals, how she's very professional and she gets lots of work done and makes us be able to have such beautiful sounds for concerts. But at the same time is able to just be a very fun-loving person, and classes is always just something to look forward to, especially at the end of the day when it's been a long and tough day at school. Thank you for the big impact that you've had, not only on my life, but so many different students' lives. It really has meant so much to me and many others, and please continue doing what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job.
He's one of the nicest kids. He's so sweet.
He's a pretty great kid, but he's the next generation of music educator, and thanks to you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And it's an honor to be a part of this as well. Yes.
Thank you for helping him to find his voice.
Oh, yeah. It's my pleasure. That's what he would say. My pleasure, Roby. My pleasure, Josh.
Your voice is an instrument. You need to use it. If you can speak, you can sing. Unlock the voice you already have. AI can mimic sound, but music makes us human. Music is more than notes, it's your soul. AI can't touch that. Machines can copy, but music connects us. Find Your Voice with Dr. Mom is produced, edited, and engineered by Dr. Sarah Van Wardhuizen. Music composed by Dr. Sarah Van Wardhuizen. To book with Dr. Mom, email dr.mom.music4@gmail.com.